Hello, QuidditchUK. I'm Tom Newton and I'm coming to you, probably not live, from a very tepid morning in North London. Joining... my word's good. We are about to see one of the most hotly anticipated matchups of the European qualifying tournament. It is the Werewolves of London seconds versus the Megalodons, both of them respectively the seconds teams of the probably two biggest clubs in the country. The Werewolves Velociraptors rivalry has been a really hot topic for the last few years. Before the inclusion of LQC, they were the two best teams in the country. Now they are two of the three. And the debuts of the Spare Wolves, quote unquote, and the Megalodons this year has allowed them to rope in even more talent to their rosters. This game is going to be an absolute cracker. Spare Wolves on the left-hand side of your screens in the maroon, dark red, purpley, whatever that colour is. And the Megalodons, for once wearing their own kit, not borrowing the Raptors, in the light blue. Starting lineups. Going to take a stab at this. For the Spare Wolves, from my boy Chris Thomas, Rosie Eamonn, Sam Instone, Charlie Schofield, Lydia Calder, and Kevin Liu, I think.
I don't have the rosters in front of me, so I don't know. I'm sort of winging this. I confess I am less familiar with the Megalodons lineup, but I can point out Tom Hutton, Tom Haynes, and Mel Piper and Lauren Sterry. And is that Sam Burkett?
Your head referee for this match is Eamonn Harrison. We are nearly ready to get underway.
You say people will not respect the authorities.
And we are off! Kevin Liu, first one to the quaffle. It runs immediately into two Megalodons chasers. Rosie Eamonn recovers the quaffle and gets it back to Schofield. Bludger controlled. Ooh! Very, very near miss. Long shot by the Spare Wolves. Advantage being called against Spare Wolves. So Tom Haynes will have a free attack if he can make anything of it. He is taking his time though. Yep, advantage used. With the first broomstick of the game. So snapshot of it so far. Megalodons with the quaffle in the hands of Tom Haynes. They also have bludger control through Burkett and Mel Piper.
I'm so scared they didn't use it.
Burkett and Piper up against of course Sam Inston and Chris Thomas. Inston, formerly of Southampton Quidditch Club, also did a year at Reading. Chris Thomas, graduate of Reading University, my old teammate. Inston and Thomas have worked together a lot longer, so we're hoping. So you would imagine they will have a bit more synchronicity, but Megalodons beaters have been doing an incredible job so far this tournament. This is going to be anybody's game. Thomas takes out Haynes. Haynes launches the quaffle into row Z. Far, far too high for Tom Hutton to get on the end of it, and it will be Werewolves' ball. Instant challenging Burkett for bludger control on the far side of the pitch, but Thomas takes Burkett out. Schofield offloads to Eamonn. Eamonn offloads back to Schofield. Schofield to Calder. Calder is being tackled right in the back of the hoops by Tom Hutton. I can't see the Megalodons benches in the way. Tom Haynes has recovered the loose quaffle spilled by Calder in the tackle. It is still 0-0, but we have bludger control now in the hands of the Spare Wolves. Oh, I have caffeine now, all is right with the world. Lou marking out Tom Haynes. Burkitt in support. Oh, Chris Thomas misses with the long beat. Number 73 looking for a way through. Inston's been taken out by Burkitt as well. There's a scrum for the quaffle. Haynes versus Eamonn and Schofield. Schofield's been sent back to hoops. Haynes has been taken out. Eanon's been taken out. Where's the quaffle? There's the quaffle on the other side of the pitch. Schofield had it. Then Sterry had it. Sterry's reset. And Chris Thomas allows Rosie Eamonn to pick it up.
And the Werewolves go on the attack immediately. Eamonn passes intercepted by Megalodons number 73.
Big hit by Charlie Schofield.
Inston puts in a similar hit on Burkitt.
It's just a ruck in the middle of the pitch. Haynes gets the ball, is beaten out immediately. Number 73 has it now. Coles, number 73. Facing up against Kevin Liu, and a little bit of normality is restored after the chaos. Liu puts in the hit. Number 73 looks mildly irritated and is now on the floor. Tom Haynes with the quaffle now. Gets to Eamonn, finds Hutton. Hutton puts the first points on the board. And it is the Megalodons who break the deadlock. Excellent goal by Tom Hutton off the setup from Tom Haynes. Quaffle reset back to the Werewolves. And we go again. Sam Inston taking a sub for Ashara Pyrus. Pyrus takes one to the chin from Burkitt. Thomas takes out Vigilante, but Haynes has intercepted the shot and is on the breakaway. Only being stopped by Callum Humphrey. Callum Humphrey spills the ball loose. Haynes has it again. Gets through Schofield and it is 2-0. What was a very effective attack set up by the Werewolves comes to nothing when Haynes is able to intercept the shot and make a bit of a break for it. Good effort though by Callum Humphreys to slow him up in the middle of the pitch, but ultimately the Haynes train could not be stopped.
And we have the old York beater lineup on for the Megalodons. Fran Vigilante and Phil Brown. Big fans of those guys. Excellent beater pair. Charlie Schofield looking for an opportunity. Vigilante's missed. Schofield shoots. Humphreys tries to recover, but the ball has gone beyond the boundary.
And the bludgers are going everywhere in the centre of the pitch. Chris Thomas has been taken out. Pyrus is nowhere to be seen. Oh no, Pyrus is over there with the one bludger. Megalodons have bludger control again through Brown and Vigilante. Liam Vernon now coming on for Tom Haynes with the quaffle, and he has the quaffle. Here's Connor Climo in support. Challoner behind the hoops. Oh! Excellent gather by Challoner, but the ball has just come loose after a hit from Schofield. For anybody who's been skipping ahead in the video just to see the highlights, it is currently 2-0 to the Megalodons. Goals through Tom Hutton and Tom Haynes so far. Chris Thomas fiddling with his bludger, marked out by Phil Brown. Looks completely unbothered by Phil Brown's hand on him. Charlie looks for a way through, finds Callum Humphreys. Humphreys' shot just fumbles over the hoops. And Challoner has the quaffle. Chris Thomas has been caught in the middle of the pitch by Vigilante. Climo's on the breakaway up the wing. Offloads. Just about finds the female chaser. Liam Vernon gathers the loose quaffle. Challoner back to Vernon. There's a lot of sloppy passing going around, but the Megs still have the quaffle. Phil Brown demolishes Chris Thomas in the pitch centre. Vernon shoots under pressure, but the shot is picked off. Eamonn now coming off. Number 77 coming on.
Chris Thomas again taken out the centre of the pitch. Charlie taken out as well.
Burkitt's on the breakaway. So Challoner, sorry, on the breakaway, but manages to find the offload to Climo. Climo jinks once, twice and scores. 3-0. Goals. Third unanswered goal for the Megalodons through Connor Climo.
I was mentioning the York beta lineup for the Megalodons. Another York graduate has just subbed on, Patrick Gray, for the Werewolves of London Seconds. Long-time danger man for York Horntails. Now in support of Charlie in the middle of the pitch. He's on the breakaway against no bludgers. He gets through Challoner. Climo brings him down and it looks like Climo's got the ball. The ruck sets in. Vernon interposes himself. There are no bludgers in that scrum except Chris Thomas's. Phil Brown chases Thomas out of it. Pat Gray is still in there. Phil Brown takes out his former teammate. Oh, number 77 just managed to get the ball loose, but the shot was denied. It is still 3-0, and it looks like the Megalodons are going to get the better of the scrum behind the hoops. Indeed, Liam Vernon, the Megalodons keeper, has recovered the quaffle. Phil Brown coming off.
Mel Piper has gone on for Vigilante and Burkett is back on for Phil Brown. Meg seem to be subbing their beaters in pairs to make the most of the synchronicity. I don't know which team Sam Burkett used to play for, admittedly. Obviously, we have Liam Vernon as keeper, formerly of Bangor. There's Maria Steinbach, again, I don't know, and that's just because I'm an idiot. Mel Piper, formerly of Kiel. We have Lauren Sterry, formerly of Bangor. Tom Hutton, formerly of Cambridge.
Pull the pin, Liam. Pull it.
Certainly a long-time player for the East Mermaids. Patrick Gray taken out. Vernon looking for a way through. Can't get through Thomas.
Charlie number 83 has been taken out, but Pat Gray still putting the pressure on.
Note to self, do a bit less colour commentary and actually watch the game. Vernon on the breakaway up the ring. Up the wing, even. My word's good. Makes a shoddy pass attempt to Lauren Sterry under pressure from Phil Sam. But Sam's lost his bludger and the press is on. Tom Hutton's intercepting the bad pass. Hutton's against no bludgers. Cheers. Matt Bateman correcting my microphone. In the meantime, Megalodons have recovered the quaffle and the Spare Wolves have been able to set up a defence. Steinbach up against Pat Gray on the far wing. Steinbach attempts to pass it off. Pat Gray says no tar. Computer says no. But he has been taken out by Steinbach in return. Spare Wolves still with the ball though. Sam takes out Sterry. Spare Wolves looking for a shooting lane. Sam attempts to takes out Piper. Charlie can't quite find the way through Sterry. No, Pat Gray's shot misses, and the ball has gone over the boundary. Finish it, says Sam Senior. Alas, not that time. Okay, who's on at the moment? I know very, very few of the Spare Wolves lineup, I confess. But I do know, as we said, we have Pat Gray, formerly of York, Phil Sam, formerly of Reading, and Charlie, whose surname I've temporarily forgotten, formerly of SQC. They're up against Ian Keenan, again another York boy, is on, beating for the Megalodons, and Tom Haynes has returned to the pitch as well. Offloads to Sterry. Sterry shoots too high. Climo's on the loose ball. Climo jinks, finds it back to Haynes. Haynes shoots, and it is 4 unopposed. The Megalodons are out of snitch range. What's the time?
Almost 12.
It is 11 minutes 35, and the Megalodons are leading the Werewolves of London seconds, 4 goals to 0, 40 points to 0. goals coming through. 2 from Tom Haynes, 1 from Tom Hutton, and 1 from Connor Climo. Charlie Schofield coming back on for Werewolves seconds. He's got Chasers deep in support, but Ian Keenan's taking him out. Phil Sam makes the wrong call there. Climo's on the loose ball, but he's been mobbed by Sparewolves Chasers. He's still recovered it though. Another beat's missed him. Climo off to Haynes. Again, Phil Sam beats his own man and not the opponent. Climo's on the loose ball, shoots wide. Sterry shoots too high. Haynes wrestles his way through. Oh, arm through the hoop by a chaser, but again, the shot wasn't attempted, so that won't be called as goaltending. Referees don't seem too bothered. Keeper's ball has been established and timeout is being called. I think a more trigger-happy referee might have pinged.
What's game time?
Who is number 77? It looks like Rob Brignall's clone.
Game time!
But yeah, a more trigger-happy referee might have pinged number 77 for an intentional hoop dislodge there. He did basically sit on the hoop and demolish it so before Haynes could shoot through. But it's marginal. One could argue that with Haynes already pinned on the floor, a shot couldn't have been attempted anyway. Broomsdown has been called for the time out. The score is currently 40-0. Some excellent plays being made here. My biggest props thus far are to Connor Climo for being a danger man as always. Tiny little bundle of energy that he is. The man is incredibly hard to mark, dangerous in broken play, and very, very good with the ball in his hands. Also, big props to the teamwork, to the amazing teamwork of the Megalodons beaters who have been demolishing their Sparewolves counterparts. Good last-ditch defending from the Sparewolves has prevented this game being a lot more in the Megalodons' favour, but they are going to really have to get their heads in the game if they are going to establish any kind of presence in this game. It's only 40-0, anything can happen, but they're going to need to get some points on the board and really need to reorientate their game plan to do so. And I think the dominance, the lion's share of bludger control the Megs have enjoyed is playing a big part in that. That bludger control at the minute being used by Sam Burkett and Phil Brown. Oh! Burkett forces a bad offload from the Sparewolves, which Connor Climo picks off and runs in. Tommy Morgan was caught with very little support, and his pass attempt to his teammate was picked off by the Chester graduate.
We get a time check.
13:26.
We are 13 and a half minutes in. Tommy Morgan of the Werewolves seconds with the ball up against Phil Brown. Offloads it to the air somewhere near Charlie Schofield. Schofield picks it back up, deflects Phil Brown's bludger. He's gone through Sterry, he's gone through Climo, he shoots to the floor. His teammate shoots to the ceiling. Oh! Schofield tackles. Schofield tackles Connor Climo with every limb except his arms. They look like they're okay though, man. It's a Schofield. Eamonn Harrison has gone for his pocket. And cards are coming out, and we will likely see Charlie Schofield in the bin. It is indeed a yellow card for number 16, Charlie Schofield. Contact from behind is the call. Oh, Charlie, let them see your number, mate.
16. That's not the biggest case of momentum than what is. It's there to be one, he's turning.
And Tom Haynes is on the breakaway after the restart. Gets through one, gets through two, shoots high to pass high to Sterry. Sterry finishes it off. Schofield released from the bin. For those unfamiliar with the rules of Quidditch, a yellow card is normally a minute in the sin bin or until the other team scores. The immediate goal for the Megalodons sees Charlie Schofield released from the penalty area. And Werewolves are back up to their full complement. But it is now 50-0. Ashara Pyrus misses Phil Brown. Phil Brown takes out Schofield. Rosie Innam's on the loose ball though. He's gone straight into Fran Vigilante. And it's Tom Hutton on the breakaway against No Bludgers. He is against Schofield though. And Schofield just sits on him. Big hits coming in from the Spare Wolves to recover that. Now I see Tom Hutton again on the loose ball looking to have another go. He's still against No Bludgers, but now against Tommy Morgan. Morgan puts in the hit. Hutton shoots, denied by Schofield. And Schofield's up against one bludger, which he hasn't seen, but he's missed him. Shoots, and finally the Spare Wolves are on the board. Charlie Schofield avenges himself for his penalty time, and it is 6-1. Scorekeeper has it as 6-1.
Mr. Snitch, it's 15-23.
6-1. Spare Wolves only needing 2 more goals to bring it back into range. Chris Thomas back on beating.
Seekers! Seekers, please!
And the Seekers have been called. My best guess is that Connor Climo will be the starting Seeker for the Megalodons. Sam Inston is approaching the scorekeeper stand, the opening Seeker for the Spare Wolves. Some wise words that I'm probably best off not repeating from Alex Greenhall there. I was right, Connor Climo is the opening Seeker for the Megalodons. And his team have just scored, making it 7-1.
Broken bread.
Stoppage for a broken broom. Sam Inston has been subbed out in favour of number 78. It appears to be a battle of reach versus speed in the Seeker game. The Snitch is about ready to come on. The Seekers are patiently awaiting their own call. Spare Wolves rotating through Seekers in order to make sure they can maintain the gender rule. Charlie put under too much pressure there by the Werewolves. Slip and slide in the centre of the pitch as Spare Wolves recover the ball. But the shot comes to nothing. Bludger has rolled loose. And Fran Vigilante is called. The Snitch is about to go on. Haynes on the breakaway, beaten out by Chris Thomas, and with Jess Lee taken out by Ashara Pyrus as well. The Spare Wolves defend the attack. It remains 7-1. I'm afraid I don't know number 80 for the Spare Wolves, but I can comment that Connor Climo, as much of a danger man as he is at chasing, he is even more lethal in the Seeker game. This guy is really, really hard to contain. Ashara and Chris are going to have to be really, really on it in 30 seconds time. Snitch having a change of clothing so as to not colour clash with the Megalodons kit. Meanwhile, Rosie Innam swarmed by Megalodons, but number 77 is through. Innam offloads to teammate number 77, who scores through the middle hoop. 3, 2, 1, and the Seekers are released. It is a 5-point game. Climo's the first one to the Snitch, and his first attempt lands about 6 inches out. Gave the Snitch a good fondle on the way down. At the moment, whichever side catches the Snitch at this present moment, the Megalodons will win. The Spare Wolves require 2 goals to bring them back into Snitch range for overtime. Chris Thomas takes out Liam Vernon, but is taken out himself by Burkitt, and Megalodons retain the ball through Coles on the far side of the pitch. Meanwhile, Connor Climo is looking for a way through Alex.
Go now.
Rosie Innam offloads to Charlie. And Charlie finds Lydia Calder, who is smashed to the deck. Refs, there was some deliberation among the refs as to whether that was a back tackle. One of the assistant refs put their arm up for advantage, but then put it back down again. There is no foul called, as I said. The advantage was rescinded. Connor Climo given some room with the snitch by beater Sam Burkett, wheeling his arms, looking to force an opening. But Sparewolves number 80 has reimposed himself. Liam Vernon with the quaffle in the middle of the pitch. Ooh, Climo has a go. Only inches away. Bit further out that time. Climo getting all the time in the world. Sparewolves beater reinterposes themselves. Sam Burkett's not too inclined to beat them out. He knows his team is still out of range. Lydia Calder's on the breakaway, but is taken out. Jess Lee snaffles the loose ball, but Rosie Inham prevents Megalodons recovering it. Charlie on the breakaway now, going through one hit after another. Offloads the ball in an attempt to find Inham. Finds number 73 for the Megalodons instead. And Mel Piper cleans house to ensure the Megalodons recover quaffle possession. Score remains 7-2. Connor Climo once again alone with the snitch. It's typical beater practice when your team is out of range to be a little bit more beater conservative. They're safe to make the beats on the opposing seeker when they're up on the attack, but they know they have the luxury of not needing to bubble up, especially when their team continues to keep on scoring. Score is 9-2. 8-2, sorry. 8-2, 80-20. Act 2. Connor Climo taking his time. Chris Thomas between him and the snitch, giving his seeker time to reinterpose himself. And it's Callum Humphreys, first time on the pitch. First time on the pitch this game, rather. Whose quaffle knocked loose. And Challoner's on the breakaway for another goal. Now it's 9-2. And Connor Climo's getting some snitch alone time. Can he end it here? Looking for a way through. Snitch appears physically stronger than him, but Climo again very, very hard to contain. Likes to wheel his arms, likes to come around the side. Just go, screams the Sparewolves supporters. Lydia Calder scores. And Tom Hayes is on the breakaway in return. Gets through one tackle, gets through another. But he finds Challoner, and Challoner scores to make it 100-30. 130, 10-3. Callum Humphreys on the breakaway. Dodges a beat. Trying to wrestle his way through the Megalodons chasers. The offload comes to nothing. His receiver is beaten out. Desperate attacking from the Sparewolves here. My coffee's gone cold. There is no justice in the world.
100-30.
It's been an entertaining game, but Megalodons have remained firmly in control of it.
Ten seconds to handicap.
And it's Tom Hutton now seeking for the Megalodons. Another small, energetic guy. Taking his time though. He's got
23. First handicap.
his team. First snitch handicap has been called. The snitch will now be constrained to the centre line of the pitch. Meanwhile, Sparewolves' attack comes to nothing. Number 78 attempted to get the goal through find Callum Humphreys, but they were both denied. Megalodons with the quaffle through Mariella Steinbach. Mariella Steinbach, that one. Sam Inston misses Haynes. Chris Thomas doesn't, but the goal is good nonetheless. Chris Thomas appealing for the call. Yep, just put my coffee cup down. Tom Hutton with some alone time on the snitch, but his broom has been pulled out from under him. Patrick Gray of the Sparewolves with the quaffle. Steinbach having a go. Pat Gray says now. And it's Biasi for the Sparewolves against Tom Hutton in the Seeker game. Neither side with any beater support. Pat Gray wrestles his way through the tackles and scores! The ball bouncing through the hoop despite Gray being tackled by multiple sources. Gray sprinting back to get on defence, but cannot stop Tom Haynes. The sides trade goals and it is 120-40. Fran Vigilante taking out Biasi, giving Tom Hutton some alone time with the snitch. Hutton wrestled to the floor. And again. And Inham's back. Jan Mikalajak offering some wise words on the sidelines. But Megalodons have turned over the ball. Fran Vigilante getting the crafty beat in. Sparewolves on the full retreat. Coles finds Sterry. Sterry gets beat. And Pat Gray will recover the ball. Phil Sam in support. It's Reading versus York in the beater game. Phil Sam and Chris Thomas versus Fran Vigilante and Phil Brown. Pat Gray with the quaffle. Moving our way through. Finds number 79 pass. I'll be honest, it looked like pass after beat to me, but it doesn't matter either way because Megalodons recover. Chris Thomas running a marathon to get the bludger back off the edge of the pitch. Sparewolves now with bludger control. Well, Phil Sam forces the quaffle turnover, and Pat Gray looking for a way through. Just full on ignores the tackle attempt from Liam Vernon. Kevin Liu with the quaffle. It's no bludgers. There is one bludger. There was one. Sam Burkett recovers just in time to take out Kevin Liu. And Climo's back on with some alone time on the stitch. Can he complete the Megalodons' rout of their werewolf rivals? Biasi's interposing himself again, but Piper says get back to hoops. Big hits coming in from the Sparewolves' defence. If I was to summarise this game in a nutshell, the Megalodons have looked a lot more coordinated, but the Sparewolves have looked a lot more physical. They've had some really good last-ditch clutch physical plays that have prevented hoops. It's not done enough to overturn the fact that Megs are the better team on this pitch, but it has damage controlled them somewhat and has been very impressive on individual plays. But Tom Challoner does not care. He's going to wrestle his way through 2 tackles and score. I should shut my big fat mouth. And Patrick Gray now with the quaffle versus Liam Vernon. Pat Gray deflects Mel Piper's bludger. Beats 1, beats 2, shoots at the floor, but Inham finds the loose ball. Second handicap is... The second handicap. Now, if my memory serves, the Stitch will be attempting to constrain themselves to the same point of the pitch. Not just the centre line, but a point. Time was you used to be on the centre point, but I think that was abandoned as that really interferes with quaffle gameplay. Chris Thomas says, Chris Thomas says, referee? What referee? I make the calls. Mariel Steinbach without support but still holding the quaffle. Big hit comes in from Gray. Offloads the ball straight into Chris Thomas's face and Steinbach is down. Sparewolves are on the breakaway. And the referees have noticed the injury that Steinbach was down. Sparewolves were allowed to continue their drive as it was well away from the injured player. and they have managed to put a 5th goal on the board. Whether or not it has been called good, what is the time?
Better than yesterday. Much better. We got the loser of the Mammoths versus Werewolves. We're back playing now, Tom.
Oh, and we are back underway. So I was rooting around in my pocket because I can't seem to put my hand on my phone, and I kind of want to know what time it is. The wind demolishes one of the Werewolves' hoops. Mel Piper clearing a lane. Tom Haynes. The Haynes train is in the Seeker game. And he's got it! Tom Haynes gets in there. It looked good to me, but unfortunately I am not a match official. I'm just here to fail at entertaining you all. Referees deliberating. If this is good, it will have wrapped up a dominating performance from the Megalodons. Werewolves are an incredibly good team. They just seem to be a bit off it today.
I know. I just wanted to see none.
And it's all over. That is it. A dominating performance from the Megalodons. Werewolves looking a little bit off colour today, but I'm sure they will be back in their regular, very, very elite form soon. Fantastic performance by the Megalodons. If I was to pick out man of the match, it would be the Megalodons beating team for ensuring the maximum amount of opportunities their side could use. Fantastic matchup. I'm Tom Newton, and I will see you all later.